are Assmans right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Wait a second. Yeah! All right. Talking pro wrestling.
Oh my God, you just shut that off.
Just shutting it off because we got a lot to get into.
God.
Me and Joe were getting into it on the previous show, Nerdvana.
You know what's funny?
Joe's wrong. Though.
I have what's it called? A Twitter page I follow. It's Billy Gunn Facts.
Okay. What's one of his facts?
And I'm trying to get it right now. I don't know why I can't get it.
Is it like making fun? Is it?
No, they're real
serious facts.
Yeah, they're real facts about Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn, here's a fact. He's going to be in All In.
Well, yeah, he will be in All In. He's
going to be in the Battle Royal, the over-the-budget Battle Royal.
Yeah, and like this guy will just post like random things. Just random.
Billy Gunn had a lot of potential. Wasn't the best on the microphone, but he was super athletic. He's a good-looking guy. I mean, the ladies loved him. I might have loved him. He was, very handsome. He was able to connect with the audience with the New Age Outlaws. And speaking of the New Age Outlaws, they're somewhere in this, because I made, and Joe made, the ultimate WrestleMania card. I got to catch my breath.
Yeah, you're getting so excited about being an ass
jumping
man.
around.
About being an ass man.
We had the ass man theme. All right. By the way, this is the Squared Circle on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, the series finale.
Yes,
but
the series finale.
I'll say this though: if you want to hear
so many finales,
yeah, it's like the end of Friends and Frasier.
Yeah,
two great franchises. All right,
so sad.
If you want to hear more pro wrestling, though, I'll say this: on my Saturday show, the Radio Rumble, I do cover pro wrestling. It just is not current day because to be honest, part of the reason why the show is ending, I have a hard time watching today's product. It's just something, it's tough for me to get by because a lot of it I'm not a fan of. A lot of it I love. I watch all the pay-per-views, but it's hard for me to sit through a whole episode of Monday Night Raw and actually enjoy what I'm watching. So I covered...
It's very hard to enjoy Monday Night Raw, honestly. It's not nearly as good as it could be. No. I think... WWE's kind of struggling with a lot of the pro. Tuesday nights is the best nights in wrestling right now, and or the second best night in NXT in the week, because I think NXT is better. It's more consistent. It's shorter.
It's only an hour.
And it's the best thing that's going on. And starting next week, we have the Mae Young Classic that's going to be going on too. And I think it's just showing strides in every aspect of the industry. The way that they book their matches on NXT, the way they do everything. And that extends even to the Mae Young Classic, because these women are so talented. It's amazing to me that Vince McMahon is not taking cues from his own company, in the way they're doing things. And, I think another person that's really looking forward in the way that he books is Cody Rhodes with All In, which is this weekend.
Let's go over there real quickly. I'm not going to sit here and say I know half these names. I know the big names. I just heard Chris Jericho was announced to appear. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, he's going to appear. No word on the match, because Chris Jericho, this will be his first North American show. Not with WWE.
Cool.
He's very loyal to WWE.
Since WCW.
Oh, yeah, since WCW. But the big thing is that, it's funny because apparently Chris Jericho still is in good with Vince McMahon. Apparently they still talk. Mm-hmm. And, Chris was talking to Vince about All In. And you know what Vince said to him about All In? Vince said, and this is the quote from Jericho's podcast, if I remember it correctly off the top of my head, it was that, they picked a terrible month to do a pay-per-view. They should have called me. I would have told them when they should have done it. I would have told them. I would have helped them. So apparently,
that's good.
So apparently, Vince McMahon is not against these guys doing All In, which you would think he would be so against it. They're selling out like a 14,000 seat arena. The first time this is happening over over 10,000 seats since WCW did. Going back, 17 years almost?
Yeah, it closed in 2001. I don't even know if they were selling out 10,000 by the end of its run. Yeah. I'll say this, they're two different entities. Vince, and he doesn't see this as competition, because it's not in one sense. It does. WWE it's an entity. It's a force that's been around for, 70 years or so. It has no competition as far as mainstream goes, whether it's the Total Divas or the ability to be on Fox or USA or action figures everywhere. This is a different type of market. This is for the hardcore-ish wrestling fans.
Yep.
If you ask, my mom who, Kazuki Okada is, or whoever these people are, she's going to be like, what are you saying? I don't even know who these people are. But, if I ask my mom who John Cena is, that's somebody that she's going to know. So it's just a different type of thing. Vince doesn't see it as a competition in that sense. What Vince does is sports entertainment. This is more of wrestling. And I'm all for this, so let's just go over this quickly. Again, I don't know too much about it. I know Kenny Omega is taking on Pentagon.
Which is big. It's a big match.
I don't know much about
Pentagon is a guy, him and his brother Phoenix are two guys on WWE's to-get list. They want those two guys really bad. So this could be one of the last shows to see these guys in the independents for a little while. They might go to NXT. You might see it happen soon.
Well, speaking of Phoenix and a guy whose last show, because he is going to WWE, Rey Mysterio.
The rumors say.
Rey Mysterio is teaming up with Phoenix and Bandito, who, again, I don't know, and they're taking on the Golden Elite, who is Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi.
This match alone, these guys are all WWE wannabes. They want Phoenix. They want the Jackson brothers. They definitely want Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi will never leave, or he won't go for a long time.
Was he in the cruiserweight?
Yes,
he was, right?
I want to say he was.
The name sounds familiar.
But in either case, these are all guys that WWE, besides Bandito, or maybe they might want him just for a gimmick, whatever. But these guys are all guys that WWE, they want these guys on their roster. And I would love to see these guys go to NXT one day. The Jackson brothers, I don't think should just go straight to the main roster.
Well, they've had tryouts. They've had tryouts. They've had their troubles. There's rumors of, them not shaking hands with Booker T, and they got into some sort of scuffle years ago, because I've been a big fan of these guys for a while. They had
not
a little
shaking hands, and we're not going to sign them.
Well, that's part of the protocol of being a wrestler. It's just the respect you have for your elders. And I don't know. I know they squashed their beef. I've seen pictures, and I think they've been on Booker T's radio show. So it's not something that's long lasting. Quickly, some other matches. The main event is Nick Aldis, who I don't know anything about, but he's the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, which is it's still not.
They're trying. Cody Rhodes wants to make that the title once again in the world. He wants to make that the big title.
Well, the lineage of the NWA goes back so long, and then it eventually became WCW. I don't know if this has any same connection to that title.
They're saying that it's the same title as it used to be. The 10 pounds of gold.
He's saying on Cody Rhodes in the main event. I don't expect Cody to win this, just because he's the booker of the show, and it would be very, I think, a detrimental to the company or whatever they're doing, the show, to have the guy who's booking it book himself to win. It's very Dusty Rhodes-ish, who was the booker for NWA and the world champion.
Well, who's his father, if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But, Nick Aldis, I've been reading up on him. I've been watching a lot of him. He's actually pretty. I think he's pretty solid. Yeah, he's a pretty guy. I think he's a pretty solid wrestler and a pretty solid guy on the mic. You could definitely hear him talking. Either you love him or you absolutely hate him, which I think is pretty cool. I'm also looking at this match. Joey Janela and Hangman Page would be a pretty good match. Kazuchika Okada in Marty Scurll. Yeah, you couldn't say that. No. That's gonna be a good match. I love Marty Scurll.
I see Dave Meltzer just loving all this stuff. He loves the Japanese wrestling.
He goes crazy for this.
And he's kind of the genesis of this whole thing happening. He sent out a tweet saying that Ring of Honor or no independent company could sell out an arena in North America. And Cody Rhodes took that bet, and this is where we get All In, which is happening this Saturday night, and it's happening through Fight TV. And so you can order it, and also they're doing StarCast, which is a bunch of these podcasts kind of brought together by Conrad Thompson, who does a great job. He hosts Bruce Pritchard's, Eric Bischoff's, and Tony Schiavone's podcast. And he's going to be bringing a bunch of other names that are going to be here, whether it's Conan or I want to say Jericho's podcast. I know
Busted
Xbox
Open Radio from SiriusXM is going to be doing
everybody
stuff
who's anybody in the podcasting wrestling world will be at StarCast. No.
not us.
And that's about it from this weekend. And speaking of mainstream appeal,
there's also the women's match, which I love. Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, she's a babe.
I think she's amazing. I think she's great in the ring too.
Her father, of course, Tully Blanchard, who's one of the Four Horsemen. Chelsea Green, who's actually going out with Zack Ryder. I expect them to get married. They seem like a really cute couple. I follow them on the Instagram.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
And I love the one name title of the match, the Over Budget Battle Royale.
So this
that's great.
There's a great little documentary series. It's called All Us, and it's on Cody's YouTube channel. And it's kind of 10-minute stories about getting this whole thing together. And they actually talk about the Over the Budget Battle Royale, how they're just getting these names that they can't afford. They're not the biggest names, but they're guys, that, have some sort of mainstream appeal. One of them is Billy Gunn, who we played his theme song in the beginning of the show. Mr. S. I don't know who else is going to be in this budget battle royale, but the winner of it will face Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor Championship, which should be interesting. And we were mentioning mainstream appeal. They got a little of that. Stephen Amell, who's Arrow, is taking on Christopher Daniels, who's one of my favorites.
Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Stephen Amell has also wrestled in the WWE before, which is
he put on a decent performance.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he does.
Well, Christopher Daniels is a guy that me and you could have a good match with. He's a guy who's been wrestling for 20 years or so. He's super talented. He's a guy I wish got a run in the WWE, but he did his thing in TNA. Him and Frankie Kazarian were an awesome tag team, and they'll both be there. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be some surprises.
They put a great guy again for Amell to look good with. So,
all right, that's gonna do it for All In. Let's move quickly.
I'm excited to watch it. I really do want to watch it.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
And you know what? Honestly, All In. If you really think about it. If it wasn't for All In, they wouldn't be doing the Supercard at MSG. They wouldn't be doing a lot of things they're going to be doing soon. I think ROH is looking to try to make a run at becoming as big as WWE. They want to try to make it there one day. They definitely have a big backing with Sinclair Media Group as their owners.
Yeah, I mean, that's a billion-dollar company, but where can you watch Ring of Honor? Where can you watch TNA? These things need to be on Spike TV or whatever. Spike TV isn't even a thing anymore.
No, it's Paramount.
Like FX would be a great, but now Fox and WWE. I don't know what channel could do this.
Hold on, think about it. Who bought FX? Disney owns that, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. If Sinclair can somehow come to a deal with Disney, that's two gigantic companies.
Yeah, I just don't see Disney is not going to want to be associated with pro wrestling. That's a tough sell. With pro wrestling, it's kind of the redheaded stepchild of media.
Well, you don't even need to really say, Disney's involved. Just FX, whatever they rebrand, the new Fox, whatever they're going to rebrand it as like their little side company or whatever it is. You just let's say that's the company, and sure, if you trace it, you could see it goes back to Disney. But I think that could be a move that you would make. But we're not economists.
Yeah,
we're just we're just wrestling blokes here on the Squared Circle. Final episode. Real quick, do you want? I thought Monday Night Raw was all right at best.
Yeah.
I thought the Shield returning was honestly really cheap.
I'll say this: I've never been a fan of The Shield. I really haven't. I've liked singular moments from a lot of these characters. I liked a few things that The Shield did. I liked their feud with Evolution, which was, going back 4 years now. But I haven't really cared for them as a unit. I like Seth Rollins' solo work. I don't want to see him particularly get lost in the shuffle, because I think here's a guy that, now with Lesnar's gone, should be the face of Monday Night Raw.
And the craziest part of this whole thing is that, the Shield, the main member of the Shield is supposed to be Roman Reigns. He's supposed to be the big dog, the strongest, the leader, right? He's a Universal Champ. And you go on WWE's official Instagram page.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that picture.
And they have Seth Rollins in the middle.
It's strange. Is Rollins, he's the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
So now, what title could Dean go for?
None. He could go to SmackDown and get the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it seemed like
he could be a cruiserweight. No, he gained too much weight.
It seems like, they were going for, or at least people thought they were going for the Dean versus Seth thing, right? Isn't that where people thought this would go? Yeah,
but now it seems like they're going to bring them all together.
Which is smart business, because, the Shield made bank. I'm in the minority when I don't like the Shield. a lot of people did like the Shield. It sells merchandise, and they didn't get a chance to do that reunion last year because of there was like the measles or whatever happened.
There was like mumps, and like and then Dean got hurt, right? And Roman was out for longer than he should have been, and Kurt Angle had to step in, which is one of the goofiest things I've ever seen.
I loved it.
But and also, Kurt Angle is now on vacation, which is apparently a little bit of a proxy to get him back into wrestling.